one thing I find with fantasy, sometimes the plot lines are huge in scale, but sometimes convoluted. I think Game of Thrones was a good example of that. I thought your book was kind of refreshingly simple. We don't really see kings and emperors and battles.
One of the things that I've always struggled with is understanding other people, and I've done everything in my power to learn how to understand myself and apply that to people at large. I wanted to pick a small number of people and make them unique. I didn't want to overwhelm myself with that. Right? And to go back to your Game of Thrones comment, it's like you jump into that first book. I can't remember. I read it. What the name of that one was. There are so many people. It is almost impossible to follow what's going on and remember who everyone is and get a feeling like they're all unique characters. And that drove me nuts. Now, granted, the story is good, but it's just too much. And as for the no large scale battles, no giant, like world sprawling stories, no kings, no queens, that kind of stuff, the average person isn't one of those things. As a reader, I always found it hard to identify with these characters that have this runaway princess or prince in disguise or just worrying about kings running their territories. I'm like, no, the average person is just a guy trying to exist, doing normal everyday things. So take the average Joe, a child who has been through an abusive home life, who struggles with, whether or not he has any sense of self-worth, and put him in danger. And that's the kind of story that I want to write about and the kind of character that I might have an easier time identifying with.
I completely agree, and I don't want us to start to sound like a sort of Game of Thrones slagfest, but that is one of their shortfalls, is that the characters aren't relatable. They're on my shelf, and I had to check. The first book is just called A Game of Thrones.
Oh, is it? Is the first one
It's-
Game of
yeah.
Thrones? Okay.